Good afternoon, NPI Nation. Welcome to the College Football Playoff Show. First thing first, I hope y'all enjoyed your Christmas holiday. Of course, we've been at this stage for almost a week now. I gave everybody a chance to run this game or run these games, I would say, to get ready for the College Football Playoffs. So, of course, this was the bracket entering the weekend to see if everybody stayed pat, this would be what the conference title games would have made out to be. But I will go ahead and say this. This bracket is definitely going to change because a lot changed in the conference title weekend. So, number one, I want to congratulate all the teams that won their conferences. Starting off with Arkansas. They right now are 13-0. They're going to be moving up probably in the bracket, depending on where the college football committee is going to rank them. So congratulations to Arkansas for winning the Pac-12. Also, congratulations to Baylor for winning the ACC over Georgia Tech, who's the 11th spot entering the weekend for the two teams. Also, Texas Tech, when we advance, will be 12-1. They're going to win the SEC over West Virginia. They should secure their bye week. BYU lost their game to Colorado, but I could not see the committee dropping BYU from 1 down to 5. I can't see that happening. So I think they're going to stay. They may swap and come down to either 3 or 4 when we get ready to get to that part of the bracket. But let's get to the second half. So SMU is going to finish 11-2. They lost in the Pac-12 championship game. I think they're definitely going to still be in regardless. Same for Texas State. They lost their first game of the season, but again, they were 12-0 entering the conference title weekend. So I think they should also be into the college football playoffs. Nebraska's in at 10-2 as one of the at-large teams. I think they will still remain around that bracket. So we will see them into the playoffs as well. Now, this is where it gets tricky. Colorado won their game. They beat BYU. They are definitely going to be into the college football playoffs as the 8th spot. What's up, my boy Katie? The North Carolina, you said we'll be back. Yes, sir. I know you'll be back next year. It was unfortunate how the season played out for you. He ended up, unfortunately, catching a couple of fair sim losses and had one game at the buzzer that was beyond his control. So you'll see North Carolina back in that mid-season too. I can go ahead and stamp that 1,000%. Now, West Virginia sitting at number 9. I don't know what's going to happen. What's going on, buddy? I'm about to talk about you in just a second. What's up, BG? Congratulations to the winner of the Big 12 over Texas State. So let's see. But yeah, as we were stating, I don't know what's going to happen with West Virginia because they're going to drop to 11-2. I don't know if the committee is going to say that was just their second loss and it came in the conference title game. So we may hold on to them because there's a lot of 2-loss teams, as I'm going to show in the top 25 portion before we actually advance. At 10, UCLA is going to win. They're in. They're going to be getting ready for the college football playoffs. I'm not sure how high they will go up in the rankings. I'm certain they should be moving up a couple of spots, but I'm not sure how the committee is going to rank them. We do know they're in. Now, the last 2 spots is the ones where I'm really not sure what's going to happen. So, here's the thing that has changed with the new college football playoff bracket. So currently UCF came into the weekend at number 15. I'm thinking that they're going to move up into the college football playoffs as potentially the 12 seed, maybe even 11. But we'll see what the committee does or don't do. You know, as y'all saw in real life with the college football playoffs, you saw a 3-loss Alabama team make the college football playoffs against Oklahoma, even though they had made it to a conference title game and lost. They had made it to a conference title game. So it really depends on, do this game value conference championship losses, kind of how they do in real life. So that's going to be something to pay attention to, because In this new format, the top 5 conference winners are the ones that are guaranteed into the college football playoffs. As y'all remember, this year, it was James Madison and Tulane who made it in the real life college football playoffs, which, of course, y'all know what happened in those games. So, based on this bracket, the top 5 conference title winners are Arkansas, Baylor, Texas Tech, Colorado, and UCLA. This is where the tricky thing comes into play. Do the Big 12 get valued here because you have a conference championship winner that's going to be into play? But then you also got some at-large teams. So this is a tricky situation that we're going to be running into. There's one that I think they're going to, I don't know. That's another thing. Because now, because Texas Tech State was the Big 12 leader heading into the weekend. So now that BG won that conference, we got to see what they're going to do. Do they bring a 6 team into the 12, or do they say we're going to take Texas State still as they were undefeated? So that's just going to be something to watch out for as far as the bracket. And as you also see, Indiana currently sitting at number 12. They didn't have to play in the conference title game. They were one of the at-large teams entering the weekend. So they could very well survive and still make the college football playoffs. It's going to be a crazy thing to see what's about to happen, because I'm about to show y'all the reason why I'm saying there's a lot that can change. Yes, sir, BG. He said a lot of because the reality of the situation, BYU and Texas State lost their conference title games, but that was their first loss of the season. You're not kicking a one-loss team out the playoffs. They may drop down in the rankings, but you're not booting them out the playoffs, as you see. But when you get into 2 and 3 losses, that's where it gets tricky. So I'm going to go to the top 25 rankings so I can kind of break down to y'all what I'm meaning before we even get to advance, because this is really where it gets tricky. So let me switch it over. Like I said, a lot of craziness that took place. Again, BYU is currently the number 1 seed. They lost, though. They're going to drop, but they're in. There's no way they don't make the playoffs. They're too high up. If anything, they may drop down to maybe 4. You go into number 2 when they come up on the screen, it's going to be Baylor. Baylor will likely move into that 1 spot because they won their game. At number 3, you got Arkansas. They're going to probably move up to the 2 seed because they beat SMU. So they're going to have a bye week as well. Let the team come up on the screen. Trying to let everybody get their shine. Okay. Moving down to number 4, the SEC champs, the Texas Tech Red Raiders, they're going to stay into the bye week format as well because they're going to be 12-1. So you're not going to boot them out. So this is where it comes into play now. Had Texas State won the Big 12, they likely would have been going into the top 4. But because BYU lost, and the next turning behind them is SMU, who didn't win their conference, you can't very well kick a conference championship winner down that far. So I mean, a team that far. So I don't know if they drop any further than 5, but we'll see. But like I was saying, moving on to number 5, SMU, who is another team that's going to be in the playoffs, but it's just where are you going to seed them? Because trust me, they're going to look at the fact they got 1 regular season loss, and then they got a conference title loss. They lost to the same team twice. So I don't see them booting them out too far. I think they'll still possibly even host a game. At number 6, we got Texas State, who lost to UCF. Again, like I said, now the Big 12, we don't know what the committee is going to do. Do they reward UCF, which they should, put them in the low seed? But we'll see how they do things. But Texas State is going to be in. Just their first loss of the season. I would be shocked if they don't keep them in the playoffs. Now, the team that came into the weekend and nothing could change their status of are they in or are they out is the number 7 seed, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. They were in regardless. The best thing they did was not being able to go to the SEC championship game. They got as high as 7. They're in as an at-large. They're probably going to get a bye week. Not get a bye week. They're probably going to host a playoff game. but we'll see how this thing shake up once we get to advance. Now, this is where it gets tricky. Now we get into the mess of this situation. At number 8 is Colorado. So Colorado won the Big Ten. They are going to potentially move up. You could see possibly SMU drop down maybe into this 8-9 spot, and they go up and host a playoff game at home. So they're going to at least host a playoff game. Now, this team coming up next, West Virginia, I don't know. Not going to lie to y'all. I don't know what the committee is thinking on at this spot right here. This is going to be their second loss. They didn't win the conference, and they've lost 2 games. You now find yourself in a mess because look at all these teams behind them with 2 losses once we advance. Where will the committee value them at? Do they still sneak in at 12 as an at-large, or do the committee say, okay, we're not going to do that. We're going to give UCF 1 and 2 spots, and we're going to remove somebody out this spot. So that's what's going to be something to watch out for. Now moving to number 10, UCLA, they're in. They've won their conference. They're in. The question with UCLA now is this. Because of what happened in front of them, number 1 loss, number 5 loss, number 1, number 5, number 6, number 9 loss. They have 1 loss. They're probably coming in as the 5th highest ranked conference title winner. We don't know where the committee moves them up to. They could go as high as number 5. We'll see though. Because then once you look at record base, do they put a 1-loss team ahead of a Colorado that won the conference? So they're in, but we got to just see where they're going to move up to. Now here's where it gets really messy. Let's go to Georgia Tech at number 11. Right now they are. Let me come up on the screen before I start talking about them. 10-3. You didn't win the conference. You have 3 losses. You got 4 teams behind you, 1 conference winner with 2 losses. I don't see a scenario where they stay in. But then again, I've been surprised many times on College Football 26, so I don't want to jump the gun and say they're not going to make it because it's a very possibility. The committee could say they made the ACC title game. Their team that they lost to is going to be the number 1 seed. We may keep them in. But I don't think they're going to stay in. But we're going to see. We're going to see. I'm not going to boot a team out until I think that they're going to be out. We see. Personally speaking, I don't see a scenario where they're going to be in, though. That's just me. I'll be shocked. Last but not least, as far as in the 12, and here's another team that is kind of in a weird spot, and that's the Indiana Hoosiers. I'm going to bring them up. They are number 3 in their conference. They didn't go to the conference title game, which should be beneficial. But let me tell y'all what the problem is for this team at number 12. Unlike Nebraska at number 7, you are now being put into the mix of, do we take them at 12 or do we bring number 15 UCF up and bump them out that 12 spot to be one of the first 2 teams out? Because again, had they been playing for the ACC title and probably beat Baylor, then we wouldn't be having this conversation. But because they didn't go at all, it's tricky. So we're going to see. We're going to see. They could, and who knows, they could move into an 11 spot with this. I know Georgia Tech beat the Hoosiers. So this is tricky. That's why coming into the weekend, Georgia Tech was rated higher than Indiana. But again, it's just going to boil down to how the committee do this thing. But you got 2 teams right now who we got to see what the committee going to do right here. We got to see how this 12 going to shake up. Because the next team out, the first team out right now is Auburn. They are also in the situation of you didn't make the conference title game, but you got 2 losses. So do they move up to 12? It's a possibility. We'll see. I don't think so, but you never know with this committee. And also the 14 spot, you got the Utah Utes. I'm letting them come on the screen. I think they're gonna probably still stay within that 13-14 range. They probably one of the first two teams out, unfortunately. And that sucks for them. But I mean, this is one of the things that just to give y'all heads up, it's better to lose early than late. That's just a nice way for me to put it. It's better to lose early than late, because when you start losing late, the committee start trying to shake up who they want in. So we'll see what happens. And last but not least, number 15 UCF. Now, this is where I think it's going to be interesting to see how this team play out. This team, let me be the first to say it, totally unbiased speaking, they should be into the playoffs when you win a conference against an undefeated team. The unfortunate part is they're 15. Do they bring them from 15 to 12, which is what they should do? They should come into one of them last two spots as a conference title winner. But what happens? We'll see. And then, of course, right behind them was Arizona State, but Arizona State's going to have another loss. Had they won against UCLA, we could have been having another crazy conversation. But unfortunately, that's not how it played out. So, all right. Moment you've been waiting for. I done broke down this thing. BG. Oh, yeah. Hey, I'm going to speak it for what it is. It should. UCF needs to be in after beating a. No, before I even push, y'all seeing it on live. Let me make sure this win set. Hold on. Make sure this win set. Okay, UCLA win set and Texas Tech win set. All right, we're good to go. Because I don't want nobody saying Nate robbed me, Nate didn't do the right thing. No, none of that. As you see, it's fair and square. Let's push. I think we got to push it twice to get to that stage, though. Or not. So, the Heisman Trophy winners, you're ready to come up on the screen. And that's going to go to Jordan Anthony, the wide receiver from Arkansas. So, Coach Rail then turned another receiver to a Heisman Trophy winner. Congrats to him. We'll see if anything else is going to come up on the screen. And we got one early result. So I'll be playing the Music City Bowl against Chris and the Utah Utes. So as we see, they didn't move anywhere. So let's find out, what did the committee do with the college football rankings? Here we go. He said Coach Rail cheat. Okay, I'm gonna let it come to the screen before I even click on it. Here we go. And I'm waiting on it to come up on the screen. And the committee, listen. Here is your top 12. UCF did crack the college football playoffs. Congratulations to UCF. They did the right thing. The committee did the right thing. They put the next best team in that won a conference title. So, BG, get those Knights ready. Y'all are headed to Colorado in the first round. So, congratulations to UCF. They did boost them to number 12, which is what I was saying just a moment ago that they should do. Now, for the rest of the bracket, here we go. As we see, the number 1 seed now is Arkansas. So, Arkansas is going to be hosting the Rose Bowl. So they're going to get the winner of West Virginia and Texas State. So I'm going to go one by one kind of break this thing down. Number 2, Texas Tech moved up to number 2, shockingly. I'm actually shocked by that. So they moved Texas Tech to the 2 spot. They're going to be hosting the Sugar Bowl against the winner of UCLA and Nebraska. Number 3 is going to be Baylor. They're going to be hosting I think that's the bowl game in Miami. They're going to be awaiting the winner of SMU Indiana and BYU. As I mentioned earlier, you can't take a team from number one. You just can't take a team from number 1 and number 5, and you can't drop a team too far. They were the number 1 seed. Number 4 is very fair. Again, this is now based on the top teams in the country, so that's what they did. So now the bye weeks are Arkansas, Texas Tech, Baylor, and BYU. That's fair. I respect what the committee did. Let's move down. Now moving into number 5. This is where I said a team could jump because of their ranking. So Colorado is in the Big Ten. They rewarded that conference based on the conference prestige, and they moved them from number 8 to number 5. So they're going to get the 5-12 seed. Number 6 is SMU. SMU was at number 5. I see the fact they weren't going to drop them too far. Number 7, the at-large situation played into Nebraska's favor. They stayed at number 7 as expected. Number 8, Texas State. That was fair also. They gave them a bye week. They gave them a home game despite the fact they lost in the conference title game. Now, West Virginia, I'm not surprised by. Here's the reason why. They came into the weekend at number 9. So, because it came into the weekend at number 9 with 1 loss, this is where the committee says, hey, you lost in the conference title game. We're not gonna kick you all the way out from 9 to out. So, oh yeah, you were gonna be in regardless, and that's a major job getting Texas State into the playoffs. Now UCLA number 10. I actually thought they would have moved UCLA a little bit, considering the fact they won the conference. But this is where the prestige of your conference comes into play. So your team. So let me be brutally honest with this thing. Your conference, in the way that they play in the season, their records overall, it does matter when we get to this stage. Because yes, you may be in, but unfortunately, it depends on the rest of the conference, how they're looking. Now, number 11, Indiana. Indiana was sitting at 12. What they did was they said they're at large. We don't have a reason that we can drop them because nobody other than UCF came from outside of the top 12 that had a reasonable push to jump up. So they allowed them who, by virtue of not playing the conference title game, sitting at 3, they were able to move up a spot, and they're going to go on the road to play SMU. Now, last but not least, which is what I want to give my hats off to the committee for doing, the UCF Knights. I'm so glad they did the right thing. There would have been totally unfair for a conference title winner to be left out of the college football playoffs because of where they were ranked with 2 losses, and there was multiple teams in the 2-loss category. So, good move by the committee. They put them at 12. So now we can get ready for the college football playoffs from there. But that's the teams that are in. Let me go to the top 25 and see where they end up ranking everybody else. We really don't even got to worry about what they showed at number. We really just going down to what they did at between number 12. That's what we really here to see. We know what the top group up here got, so we weren't going to really mess with that. Okay, so UCF did do the jump that I was mentioning. They got to go from 15 to 12 because they won the conference. Auburn and Utah stayed in their spot as the first 2 teams out, which is exactly what they stayed with. And Georgia Tech dropped from 11 to 15 with having 3 losses. So basically, the committee did not take a 3-loss team into the 12. So that's what happened. But outside of that, nothing else really changed up. They just brought up UCF like I thought they would, and they moved Indiana up because they were the highest rated 2-loss at-large team entering last week. So they did them justice and said, okay, we're not going to kick them out. So good move by the committee. But just to kind of show y'all the rest of it, Auburn and Utah stayed as the first 2 teams out, of course. Georgia Tech stayed at number 15. I think we got everybody. I think we got a complete user top 25. keep looking. You see Georgia Tech is at 15. Illinois moved up to 16. Arizona State dropped a spot to 17. Mississippi State is at 18. Maryland's at 19. South Carolina's 20. Stanford's 21. But we got all spots except for 25 that is users. So salute to all the users that cracked that playoff spot and cracked the top 25. So that's big for your teams down the road. But before I get into the award winners, I'm going to show the bowl matches. Let me see if who's going bowling. And again, if you want to play these bowl games, you're welcome to do so, especially the user ones. That can apply to something for this upcoming season. I'll talk more about that in the group. I got to break it down, write it down and whatnot. So as far as user games, you got Steven, you going to the Alamo Bowl against Wake Forest. Let me come down to the Armed Forces Bowl in a second once the screen updates. Time to do that. Okay. You got South Carolina playing Troy in the Armed Forces Bowl. Ryan, it looks like you're going to be headed to the Birmingham Bowl to play the Duke University. I'm going to let that show up on the screen before I keep on going. I'm going to go past all the conference, the playoff games, because we know those playoff games. Let's see. I'm trying to get to the next user match. Okay. We got a user game in the Frisco Bowl. Let me get down to it. So at the Frisco Bowl, you got number 22 North Carolina playing Buffalo. That's Katie and Kodge getting a chance to play for the Frisco Bowl. Let me see who else. At the Gator Bowl, you got Justin Brown and the Auburn Tigers going to go up against Nevada. Let it come up on the screen too. Okay, let's go to the Holiday Bowl. You got Mizzou going up against Colorado State. See the next user games. It looks like at the Las Vegas Bowl it's going to be Daedrin and the Mississippi State squad going against Vandy. Let's see. Let's go. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, me and Chris is playing at the Music City Bowl in Nashville. I'm going to have to get with him and we can run this game this weekend if you want to play the ball game. Right behind us is the Myrtle Beach Bowl. That's going to be Arizona State playing Georgia State. Parker is going to be playing at the New Mexico Bowl against they come up on the screen. Parker's going to be playing at the New Mexico Bowl against Arkansas State. Where's the next matchup? Okay, we got another user matchup at the Pop-Tarts Bowl. That's funny because Georgia Tech in real life is playing the Pop-Tart Bowl tomorrow, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Or is it maybe next week? Yeah, you got Maryland playing Georgia Tech at the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Tev, if you tuned in, you're going to the Rake Bowl. And that's going to be against Syracuse. So I'm sure you're going to beat up on them the end of the season, right? I think we got just a few more bowl games left on here. The Rely Quest Bowl, Illinois, they're going to be playing against Tulsa. There's two more games I got to mention. I'm going to go down to the Sun Bowl. That's going to be Cincinnati playing against Boise State, and then Stanford playing against Appalachian State in the Texas Bowl. Now, for the ones of you that got a CPU game in the bowl game, if you don't want to play it, that's fine. I'm going to set you in regardless. That helps your team overall, basically, once you get to the offseason. But for the user games. Hey, y'all good luck in those games for sure. But hey, I'm excited to see who's gonna win this title. I'm definitely excited to see who's gonna win this title. I will be calling the Natty and probably the semifinals based on how everything is set up schedule wise. But let's get to the award winners. Let's go to the award winners. Also, make sure that y'all are writing down who won, which one of your team members was in the all Americans, all conference, all those things, because that will be needed as we go into the off season. Again, like I said, I'll explain it more in detail once this stream is over. The Bachelor Award winner is Jordan Anthony from Arkansas. I don't think nobody's surprised by that. The numbers he put up was crazy. Look at that. Look at that platinum takeoff, y'all. That platinum takeoff makes no sense, especially at the speed he's at. So he's going to be a guy we're going to have to watch out for in the playoffs, especially whoever plays against. The Walter Cap Award also goes to Jordan Anthony from Arkansas. Let's see who won Coach of the Year. Coach of the Year goes to Texas State. You'll see about the Davey O'Brien Award. This is for the Quarterback of the Year. Davey O'Brien Award also goes to Brad Jackson, the quarterback from Texas State. He beat out Mendoza for the award. Let's see about the Chuck Benerick Award. This is for the best defensive player. I'll let that come up on the screen. This goes to Mikael Kamara. He is the senior out of Indiana. He'll be headed to the draft in real life as well. So congratulations to him. Let's see. Also, the Bronco Nagurski trophy goes to the defensive player. It's probably going to be Kamara again. Because typically when you win one, you win the other. Okay, here we go. So you got Kamara that won that award too. Let's see the Jim Thorpe Award. There's also going to be Tevin Williams, third corner out of Baylor, defensive back of the year. He beat out the corner for Texas Tech for the award. What about the Doak Walker Award? That is Bryson Washington, the running back out of Baylor, who won the award. As you see, this is his stat line as well. Of course, the Fred Biletnikoff Award, I'm sure it's going to be Jordan Anthony. I don't even think it's a question that it's going to be Jordan Anthony when we get ready to push. And it is. As y'all see, he had a crazy year. Look at this. 93 catches for almost 2,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. That's insane. Let's go to the Lombardi Award. This is for Defensive Lineman of the Year. I think Kamara's going to get a 3-for-1. And it is going to be Kamara again. He has 23 sacks on the regular season. Keldrick Faulk finished number 3. He was the closest one to him. Let's go to the Senior Quarterback of the Year award. That's the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award. So it's for the best senior quarterback in the country. It is actually going to be Byron Brown, the quarterback from USF. The closest user, it was Sawyer Robinson from Baylor. Then it was Taylor Green from Arkansas. Edge Rusher of the Year, I would be shocked if it's anybody but Kamara. And it's going to be Kamara again. Let's get to the interior lineman of the year. After I've told these awards, I'm gonna wrap this thing up. Like I said, y'all can start getting yourself prepared for them games. I'm looking forward to seeing the playoffs. It's gonna go to the two Missouri offensive line was the closest one, but Ione won it for the league. That's the guard out of Penn State. Let's go to the John Mackey Award. That's for the tight end of the year. And it's going to be Holden Stays. That's the senior tight end from Indiana. The Broyles Award, that goes to the assistant coach of the year. And that would go to the offensive coordinator for Arkansas, which is understandable. They pulled a Heisman Trophy winner off. The next was the Dick Buckets Award. That's for the linebacker of the year. That's going to go to Dylan Hazen from Wake Forest. But the highest rated user linebacker was Austin Romaine, the junior from Kansas State. The Remington Trophy goes to the center of the year. Let's see who that's going to be. I think I have an idea, though. That's going to be Connor Tollison, the senior from Missouri. The kicker of the year is going to go to Jonah Delane. That's the junior kicker from UAB, but the highest rated user was my kicker, Chase Meyer from Cal. We got two more awards to bring up. I'm going to skip past the punter of the year because none of us really punt the ball. Hence the name of the league, no pun intended. But let's move on to the Jet Award. And that's for the best special teams returner. And that's going to go to Darius Farmer from UCF. And then last but not least, the Sean Alexander Award for the freshman player of the year. And that's going to go to, let it come on the screen. That's going to go to Brad Jackson. That's the freshman quarterback from Texas State. So that is your award winners. As I mentioned, you can absolutely go check out your you can get on there and check your All-American people. Yeah, for all those people that are still watching us in the league, it is imperative that you go write down every person that won an award on your team, whether it's all conference, All-American, anything to that extent. You need to write it down. It will be needed for this offseason. I'm warning you, I'm only going to announce this up to the national championship game. If you don't do it, then that's your fault, because I'm saying it right here. I'm going to put it in the chat. So this is your first reminder. I'm going to remind you all the way until we know the national championship winner. So here's the official bracket. Good luck to the 12 teams that are that's competing for the first national championship. We got a couple of people that have won national championships that is in this current race. Last in the previous, no pun intended, Arkansas, BYU, and Texas Tech, and SMU actually. So those four teams actually did win national championships in the league. We had a couple of those of the guys that are in right now also who made national championship games. Texas State made a national championship game at a period of time in the league as well. So it's gonna be fun. It's really any team chance to win. So good luck, guys. And I can't wait to get back on here to call the semifinals and the Natty. So good luck until then. I'm about to post which teams is up to play this week. Y'all will advance Monday night. Probably going to be one of my commissions because I'll be at the Falcon and Rams game. But just giving y'all a heads up. Good luck. Enjoy the rest of your Christmas weekend. And we are signing off for now.